Afternoon, David.
Afternoon, David. How are you doing? Just looking at this thing on that put out by the UK government or gov.uk. Voter identification at polling stations and the new voter card.
Yep.
Protecting the integrity of our elections. Voter ID. It's, you know, this is the thing. It's like they talk about protecting the integrity of our elections, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what they cite is they cite people that have put fraud at various elections. The only election I know where there was mass fraud ever carried out was the 2014 fucking referendum.
Aye, right, okay. Tell us about this bloody card, because I haven't found any proof that they've issued a bloody card.
No, it's just it's what they've recently put up is this voter card, right? But they're telling you everything of what it does, but they're not telling you how to get a hold of it.
That's because they haven't put the bill through the Parliament in order to issue it yet.
That's right.
It was promised 3 months after the voter ID bill was passed. It's still not come up, and there's an election coming up in May down that road.
Right, I'm going to read you the ministerial forward on this, okay? Our democracy is underpinned by free and fair elections, and this government has committed to securing the integrity of those elections for the future. At the heart of an election is the simple action of a voter casting their ballot. Leading international election observers, the Electoral Commission, and the author of the 2016 report on electoral fraud, Sir, now Lord Eric Pickles, all agree that there are potential vulnerabilities in our current system. That is why the government has committed to updating outdated security protections around the identity at the polls and is introducing a requirement for voters to provide their identity at the polling station. Showing photographic identification is a reasonable and proportionate way to confirm that someone who is who they say they are when voting, thus stamping out the potential for voter fraud and take place and giving electors the confidence that their vote is theirs and theirs alone. As we take decisive action against the potential fraud within the system, we'll make sure that the efficiency and accessibility of the process is not compromised. This important work has already benefited from a range of input and expertise from a wide variety of stakeholders, and I am committed to continuing the development of the policy in an open and transparent way. I'm pleased to be able to set out this publication for more information about how the new requirements will work and on application and rollout process we envisage for the voter card. This is from Kemi Badenoch MP, Minister of State for the Department of Levelling Up, Housing and Communities.
What's the date?
Yeah, again, this is something we're going to do.
What's the date on that press release?
No, here we go. Published 6th of January 2022.
So a year ago.
Yeah.
And they still haven't brought forward the voter ID card.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, let's say hello to the audience, because they've just come on board in droves and we're playing.
Oh, guys.
Afternoon. Sorry, folks, we were in one of our usual positions because there's a council elections coming up in May down that road, and David and I are aware that there might be an impact to the gerrymandering that is voter ID.
You can't vote because you don't have a voter card. You don't have one of these voter cards.
So specifically, it's going to have an adverse effect on the poorest in society and the youngest in society, because they don't have driving licenses and the poor don't buy passports because they don't leave the country. And without this voter ID card being issued, then you could say there's gerrymandering going on. Now, seeing my own voting, David, one of the subjects we wanted to cover the day was polling, and the latest independence poll be the national. Quite an extensive poll. It was well broken down within the publication and that. And it says at this point in time, 54% of Scots in favour of independence. Following that poll, Professor John Curtis, the psephologist at Glasgow University, or is it the Caledonian University, what they call it. Anyway, he put out a breakdown and an analysis of it, and he said this is all about demographics. The biggest problem facing for a plebiscite election, whether it be a Scottish or a UK general, is getting a certain demographics out to vote. He goes on to talk about people who are 45 and voting, and people under 35, and why they tend not to get out to vote, specifically 27 to 35, so big young families around their feet, work commitments and mortgages and worries and all this. And what Professor Curtis was saying is, although that demographic, the 16 to 35s, 72% of them want independence, he says they are the least likely to vote, which tells us that we've got 2 years, maybe less, to impress upon our young people this is what you want, and the only way to get it is to get yourself to a polling station. But we are going to have to convince them that they have to go and vote for it.
Well, your older demographic will always get out to vote. And the only way I can see is dealing with that is placing booby traps outside their doors. But I don't think that's going to happen because we're not really made that way. All right. But they don't seem to be taking the message, the older ones, that you've been led down the garden path here. They don't believe it. They just don't believe it.
Right.
They believe what they see on BBC. They believe what they see in the Express that they still go out and buy, and the Sun that they still go out and buy, and the Record that they still go out and buy, and the Daily Mail that they still go out and buy.
And the Express, don't forget it. Don't expect it. The two winning rags with the film Express.
And the Scotland. Yeah. It's, these people make being stupid like a fucking career. All right, seriously. Sorry about my French this morning, but I'm just getting sick of this. I really am. Somebody just go and have a fucking barney with a blooming octogenarian and tell them, stop buying the fucking stupid newspapers and switch off that TV.
If the advertising revenue for this month, you're a spanner.
I don't care.
Anyway, folks, we've been trying to turn on the buys of coffee and super chat and all that. Well, we've hired 22 Philadelphia lawyers to try and navigate us through it to get it switched on. We'll get there. Why Philadelphia lawyers? Well, they're based there in the States, you know.
But the demographics, generally, if you, in the past, I'm talking about, or maybe not talking about now, forgive me if I'm not, but in the past, it used to be if you got a poll done from the 1AB type of pollster, right, of a person being polled, sorry, they would generally vote against any change to the status quo because they rely on the status quo. They may have a business. Stability to them is ever so important, right? But since we've had Brexit on the go, stability isn't there.
Well, I want to address this one, David. I am of older demographic and I vote this.
No, stop. Evelyn, we've heard this over and over and over again. We cannot be tarred with the same brush. I'm 65 then, right?
What doing, David? You never let me finish. Anyway, what she said is we can't all be... Wait a minute, calm it, Janet. You're a wee bit wound up today. Calm it, Janet. Yeah, you're a wee bit high today. Have you been taking your meds?
Any time we get people on Facebook saying it was the audience that blooming voted
no, that's not what's being said.
I've been an SNP supporter all my life. We know that.
Hey,
we realise that.
Calm it, Janet. Go take your meds, you bam pop. Right? Let everyone say this. We can't all be, but we're not talking about you in specific, Evan. We're talking about general. And this stuff's not coming for us. It's coming for the top psephologist, Professor John Curtis, for who's breakfast. All right. But David, go take a bloody tablet or something. You're just swearing and bloody going to happen, man. What is it you do today?
They live amongst us. They fucking live amongst us.
Something wrong with David today. Now, what's the score with you? Wow. She's just swearing. But yeah, it's been You're like, I
David,
don't know where a wasp in its company.
David, this is one of the people that you think knows everything there is to know.
That's no one of the people. You didn't see you and your generalisations. Oh, well, no go on there, Spanner. Anyway, what else do you want to talk about? Did you see Sarwar's did you see the thing about Sarwar in the EU?
No, I can't stand Sarwar, and I don't want to listen to him. Go on, tell us what you're going to tell.
This is going to be an interesting fucking programme you've not even looked at. And use your Spanner. No, I'm going to go up and one. Fuck's sake. I can see this is going to be one of these faking Sundays. If I was a religious man, I'd be praying right now. Anyway, Sarwar says, although Brexit has been an economic disaster, he can see no case for rejoining the EU. And I made a wee post about it saying Sarwar's definitely trying to, put a wedge between the Scottish public and the Labour Party. But as you rightly pointed out, David, they no longer need Scottish votes. The blue Tories and all the red Tories need Scottish votes. Yeah. So we know that. There's a small amount of people in Scotland who don't quite realise that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be voting for these spanners because they've absolutely no interest in the interest in the opinions of the people of Scotland. Anyway, as Sarwar just showed, he sees no case. So therefore, the people within his party who do see a case have to shut up and get back in their box. Or the 72% of Scots who favour rejoining the EU and Labour's point of view should shut up and get back in their box. But Sarwar, I mean, to be honest with you, that was dreadful for Sarwar. He can see no case. Multi-millionaire who pays his staff poverty pay can see no case for rejoining the European market. Why is that? Because his business doesn't trade into Europe. He gets on to China and India and sells it in cash and carries in Glasgow.
David, apart from that, he's blooming signing up to the party line.
Of course he is.
Keir Starmer is, oh no, we don't do Brexit anymore. We don't talk about Brexit anymore. We'll make it work. And that's all there is about it. Listen, guys, just something I want to break in here. David, put that down, would you? Take that away at the moment, right?
What's the audience participation?
Just to make something clear here, right? You lot think that David and I agree on absolutely everything. No, we don't. We fight like blooming cat and dog all the time. But the good thing is that we'll fight to a point where it gets really, really angry and we'll pull away from each other. And then we'll come back and we'll discuss it, and we do find that what we come up with is the actual heart of the matter, right?
You generally get your consensus on agreeing to disagree something.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So you come on this morning, you come on this afternoon with a wee bit
hey, the Reverend of Wrestling Jim Campbell says Super Chat is on. So I must have pressed something that did that before the programme.
Oh, good folks, that means the charity drive is on. But listen, let's make this clear, because I had a young fella Chris, if you're watching this, don't you dare buy us a coffee or a super chat. I know that you're on benefits, so money's tight.
Yeah. Don't, guys, please. That would make both Dave and I very unhappy if we found out somebody that couldn't afford it was doing something like that.
Aye, right. So Super Chat's on. David, you better put YouTube up in case anybody actually does something with Super Chat, because I don't know if we'll come up with these schemes. Now, can I get back to this now? I think young with Super Stansky, I don't know if you've seen that, David, she's brilliant. And others who use social media. Young with Super Stansky. Turn the volume off, you.
Sorry, mate. There you go. There you are.
Right. Now, I'm going to have a wee look live at two Davies. I'll need to mute this right away.
No, sorry, I'm actually on. I'm on the.
Aye, but what I'm looking for is this bit here, David. Right.
Oh, it's about halfway. It's about maybe 6 or 7 different units down your main page.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a super chat.
All right, okay, fair enough.
And get the ball rolling.
Right.
Now it should pop up on the screen.
Uh-huh.
Once I've finished it, of course. Right, buy and send.
Well, I'm on the YouTube and I'm no
Aye,
seeing
wait 2 seconds. I've got to put in a security code for my account so they can take the money out of my account and send it. And we're only getting about £1 out of that £2 that I've just spent because there's third parties to get it. And yep, it works. It's come up.
It's £2. I do getting the ball rolling. Right, okay.
Right, so there's about £1 of that goes in VAT and fees. And then
How do I do that back to you, Davey? Tell me. How do I do that back to you? I can't.
At the bottom, you will see there's a wee smiley face in the comment section. Wee smiley face, a dollar sign.
What are you in? See, I've got Restream, right?
So, have you got your YouTube channel as well?
YouTube channel. It's the YouTube channel you need to be on, is it?
Aye, right. Go to YouTube, and at the bottom you see a smiley face, yes. A pound sign, a dollar sign, and then a plus sign, and that tells you what we've got available.
Right. All so right. How can I send?
Right. Press on the dollar sign.
Right. Okay.
So the wee blue scale comes up. You move it for £1 upwards.
Where the fuck is that? No, David, not getting them on.
Press on the dollar sign at the bottom of the comment section.
I did.
Right, here we go. Armstrong, thanks for the charitable donation. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yes, if Barbara there says Ginger Giraffe, and she sent us $5. Thank you, Ginger Giraffe. So there you go. And let's see, did these come up on the YouTube? Yep, they did show up on the YouTube, so that's on the restream. That's good.
Is it because I'm an owner of the channel that it's not coming up for me?
No, it's just you're obviously not seeing it, David. What we'll do is when it's over, I'll walk you through it. Okay.
Right, fair enough. Okay, all right.
Right. Anyway, so far we're doing well because so far we have raised 12 quid.
Yeah. Guys, look, fine. This is not a case of piling. Only do it if you really want to, and only do it if you can afford to.
Right, now let's get back to what we're supposed to learn about now. Paul McMillan says, I think the Youngs with Super Tansky and others who use social media are making it. They are. And David and I will look at in the future branching out into other parts of social media platforms as well.
Yeah.
Struthers, thanks. And you say that it's worth it. Thanks very much. Very soon, hopefully, we'll be able to start helping people, but only if you can afford it, folks. Let's get back to the politics, David.
Yeah, the wee chap I want to give a mention to, and it's our wee chap from what's his place? I'm getting him on here now. There he is. It's a wee guy called Michael. I was going to say Michael Larkin. It's not. It's a guy that I call the Gentle Rant.
Oh, Michael Lambert.
Michael Lambert.
I like Michael. I've had a couple of chats with him in the email.
Absolutely bloody wonderful. You couldn't. The stuff that he puts up is just incredible. The face to the camera that he does, I love it. I absolutely love it. He does it in such a beautiful way. He's got a lovely English accent, and his delivery is just perfect.
I don't want to talk about other YouTubers. I want to talk about the subjects in hand. We're supposed to be
okay, but that does lend to that. Okay, Michael was a businessman who went out to other European countries and sold his wares face to face. He was your ultimate traveling salesman with his suitcase, right? And he went into different companies. They did that, right? And what happened was that Brexit killed his business.
It's the same with the guy on Truth to Power. He actually set up artist tours in Europe.
Yeah.
And Brexit ruined his business.
Yeah. So when Michael talks about Brexit, and the effects of Brexit, he's talking about from a very, very practical point of view that very few of us could, So he's a guy that we should be listening to. So look him up, Michael Lambert, and subscribe to his channel. All right.
Stephen Taylor's got a good idea there. He says, Angus Robertson, we should try and get Angus on because he's supposed to be the guy in the Scottish Government dealing with constitutional matters and getting us towards independence. So we'll have a wee look at getting him on. Now, I want to get back to Sarwar and the EU.
Yeah.
Thanks, brothers, for the super chat. And thanks, Brian, for the super chat.
Thanks, Alistair.
Thanks, Alistair, once again for super chat. We'll mind to mention them as we go through, David. But as I say, Sarwar and the EU. Now, what does the man actually think he's doing? Is he committing political suicide for the Labour Party here in Scotland?
No, I think he's just trying to build up the whole facade of Labour right the way through the UK. So, in other words, it's like the nod and dog syndrome. It's Keir Starmer says, and then everybody else in the Labour Party goes like that. Yes, 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 yes. So that's Sarwar doing the nod and dog act for Keir Starmer. So
Scottish Independent 2023 says his old mum still reads the Sun, the Express, and the Daily Mail, despite everything he tells her, and she believes the rags and usually kicks him out every few months for arguing with her about it. Yeah, sometimes you've just got to keep up on that sort of thing, Scottish Independence 2023, and move on, because the demographic we really need to work on is the younger demographic and getting them people. We have a problem with voter ID and all. Right, so Sarwar's just toeing the party line then, even though it's going to destroy the party within Scotland.
Yes.
Now, did you see the First Minister's interview with Laura Kuenssberg this morning?
No, I was reading about it on the Express of all things, where the Express have said that she had to do a massive tongue. And according to what you said, David, none of it was true.
Aye. I know. If you ever look at what the Herald did right away, they put out an article right after saying the First Minister doesn't believe that she'll be the First Minister to deliver independence, which isn't what she said to Kuenssberg at all. What she said to Kuenssberg was, I hope so. And then they talked about the Gender Recognition Act and the crisis in the NHS.
Yeah.
Now, Kuenssberg also tried to convince the First Minister to say that there was a crisis in the NHS and the First Minister wasn't aware that she's just under pressure. Which brings us on to a subject that, as you know, David, I'm running a survey and people all in Scotland have been sharing their experiences of using GP services.
I cannot agree with that more. It's like anybody that's gone and helped out by doing that, getting photographs of, getting maybe anecdotal evidence from people that work in the A&E and all the rest of it, right? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Couldn't blooming give you a bigger medal if I tried. Because this is the only way that you're going to overcome the mainstream media that lie through their fucking britches to make the thing seem
like the advertising revenue again. We're trying to raise money for charity here, you'll get us fined.
I'll take it back.
I don't know what's getting into you today, boy. What meds are you taking?
Oh dear.
But so where was I? Try to pin the First Minister on the GRR, and the First Minister said, "Oh, hold on a minute, 2018, Westminster and us had the same proposals for the GRR, and they at that time their press release said that Scotland could have a separate system and it wouldn't affect the Equalities Bill."
This is what I don't get. The Tories have gone out of their way to create differences between England and Scotland all the way along.
Thanks, the Health Board did.
Do we not get that? I mean, the Health and Social Care Act 2012 is totally different to that of what we have in Scotland.
Of course, we get it. They don't. And that's how they're. I mean, I've seen one of the online channels in England, TDLR News. They did a breakdown on why the UK government did it and why they were right to do it. Nathan's pissing himself off and he says it's normally me, it's doing the swearing. Aye, but no in this programme, that's in my programme.
Sorry, Nathan.
We're trying to keep this channel pretty clean, Nathan, because the advertisers don't like it when we swear.
I might be a person, but I'm going to head to the local chapel and do a dozen Hail Marys in front of the priest house with that.
Right, thanks, Martin, and thanks, Isla. This has gone well. We'll soon have a donation to the food bank, David. That's brilliant. Thank you very much, folks. You're all being very generous.
What I'm going to do is I've got to contact them with what bank account is going to be attached to the channel for this, right? Which I haven't done. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this to find out how much in total it is, and I'll just send it out of my account rather than making a food bank hang on for it. All right.
Suzanne says colourful language is Scots adverbs and adjectives. Oh, absolutely true, Suzanne. But unfortunately, the advertisers just don't like it.
What's a semicolon?
Hey, that's what's left after they cut out the cancer. This one's gone well. This one's gone really well. Bad language, David Nina's dinger, and bad jokes. We're doing well today, folks. Not getting much politics in, but we're doing well.
Really?
Oh, geez, what do you make a Starmer out in the at Davos, by the way?
Yeah, again, that's nothing I haven't picked up on. Yeah, what you don't realise is that in my house, right, Leslie goes, "Oh, you're an engineer, are you? Right, fine. Well, you can build this and do that, and I end up with right? So I end up at the moment, because I'm coming out and having my pneumonia, she's taking advantage. All right, so there you are. So what happened with Keir Starmer at Davies? Please tell us.
What happened? Well, they actually gave him a platform, and he was telling everybody that the UK is open for business, which brought me on to, had me rolling about the fire laughing. As we all know, the OBR has projected that over the long term, a decade, GDP will be hit by 4%. Well, the 2.2 years since we left the EU or whatever has been hit by 5.5% of a decline. And then, it's their Starmer at Davos begging for inward investment. Inward investment in the UK has dropped by over a tenth. 11% it's doing, right? Yeah. And that totals something like 50 billion quid. It's been the headline figure's 40, but you've got to factor in things like the monthly payment that we're having to make for the divorce settlement to the EU, because that up to 30 billion quid as well, and rising, because the total's no on yet. You want to send a 5 on the cup, 179, that's all right. Every copper helps, on. But as I say, so Starmer, he's out there begging for inward investment, and they're giving him a platform, but they're laughing at him. Thanks, Stephen. They're absolutely laughing at him.
The whole thing about inward investment, you think about, let's say that you are someone that invests around the world, right? And you might invest in France and Germany, or maybe doing something. You might get involved in that and all the rest of it, right? Inward investment requires stability. A country's got to be stable in order for it to attract inward investment. The UK is not stable at all.
Right, thanks, Anne. Apparently you've worked out how to do it. High five to you, T.
Better than me, Anne. You can come and show me, all right?
But Anne, as this is an extension of the Indie 2 Cafe, you don't need to make a donation, dear. Yeah. But obviously, thanks, Anne, because as you know, David, be a part of the Indie 2 Cafe and on. I always make a donation to the cafe as well, So it's brilliant. But somebody's nan can't be your mum. That'd make you my uncle or worse. Melanie, I don't get that. Facebook comments. I'm trying to keep up with both. Aye, the slider's only on chat, John. It is. Aye, it's only on chat on YouTube. Me and Anne send it back. That'll be right. It's in the coffers now. We'll let you have some input when it goes, Anne. Right. So Davos. Aye. So Keir Starmer and is a Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeve, and I can't mind who the Tories sent. I can't mind whether it's definitely no Jeremy Hunt anyway. It's one of his minions. Anyway,
the only one out of all the Labourites that you could call them that I've got any regard for is the deputy shadow prime minister, is Rachel Reeve.
Well, thank you, Ted Boyd. Ted Boyd sent us 50 Norwegian kronas for the looks, yeah.
Right, so that's a fiver. Right, okay.
I don't know what it is. Well, thank you. It's definitely more than a fiver.
Is it more than a fiver?
It will be. The Norwegian currency is one of the hardest currencies on the planet.
No, it's not. Hang on a second. I'll find it.
Thanks, Ted Boyd. If Ted Boyd will tell us what it is, Ted, much is that? And Joey, your son says you've got Toriettes. Right, anyway, let's get back to business. Never mind what that is. So, Davos and the World Economic Forum, they're begging for inward investment, David, and I said they were going to rubber them. And it appears that's exactly what they've done. Rubber them. And by the way, folks, I'm no very chuffed with you lot. I've just been to get my hairdresser and get my hair done and my beard trimmed and nobody's noticed. That's me. I'm upset now. Not even Milligan noticed. In fact, I don't think the wife noticed either.
When I go to the hairdresser, I go and I say, can you do me an ugly accent, please?
Right, anyway, let's get back to politics. Where are we? We were on Koonsberg, weren't we? And Koonsberg got in about the NHS then, the First Minister, and funding choices. And the First Minister just was like, when it comes to funding choices, remember, we don't know what the economic levers, and that shut Koonsberg up. What I can say about Koonsberg was she kept interrupting the First Minister trying to prevent her from answering questions.
I really, to be honest with you, I don't know why anybody would want to go and get interviewed by Koonsberg.
Thanks, Lenny.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, Dave, folks, says I'm not going to read them out, but as the super chats come in, if they come in, I'm just going to pop them up on screen because people deserve to see a bit of recognition for the help that they're giving. So that's what I'll do. Okay. NHS Scotland still yet again best performing on these islands. You're absolutely right, Chris. As I say, and I'm pretty proud of everybody out there that's taking the time to have a wee look at what's going on in the local hospitals and things like that. But £4.80, thanks. £4.80, thanks very much. That's a great thing. Thank you, Margaret Brand. Thank you very much for your donation as well. As I say, this will all go. David, they'll probably just pay this through the same way they pay the ad revenue. So, it's just we'll make a threshold, and as soon as it comes to us, because we have an account that ad revenue is supposed to be going to, as soon as it comes to us, we'll let you know how much it is and who it's going to. All right, but it will be local charities, probably food banks, as an extension in the two cappies work right across Scotland. And we'll change the food bank or baby bank that gets it each month. Okay, so thanks, guys. Now, Koonsberg and the NHS.
Your Norwegian krona, by the way, is £5 and droppings. It's 10 Norwegian krona up to the pound.
But there you go. Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, it's very generous. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So, let's look. We get any comments here? Johnson was in Davos for some reason. Well, Johnson's trying to stay relevant, and he's also selling a book. Or he's signed a contract to write his memoirs. That doesn't mean he's actually going to bloody well do it. But what was interesting is while Johnson was PM, he was approaching a deadline for a book. I think he was writing about Shakespeare, wasn't he?
Aye.
And he had to take time out for being Prime Minister to actually complete that book. Aye, Kuenssberg was just looking for a soundbite to use against the Scottish Government.
There is absolutely no good reason for any Scottish minister or whatever to be interviewed by these people that we know all they're doing is looking for a way. It's like when we did the protest at the BBC, and they were asked to come in and have a chat with them. I knew fine well we were going to get hijacked when we get in the door.
Oh, aye.
And we'd just be looking for ways to make fun of us or whatever, right? And I went, no way. You come out here in front of the public, and you put yourself up in front of the public, and you answer a few of our questions, and they wouldn't do it. So therefore, we shouldn't be doing the same with them. We should just be shutting them down.
Thanks, Dexter.
Thanks, Dexter.
I know, as I say, see when we get into spring and summer, David, I think we're going to have to start the BBC protest right up again because things are going to get out of hand this year.
But this time we're not going to do them at Pacific Quay. There's no way we should be doing them at Pacific Quay. We should be doing them at Freedom Square, or we should be doing them at the steps at Buchanan Street, because the people that we need to be telling about BBC is not the BBC. They know what they're doing. We need to be telling the people of Glasgow that are walking by what BBC are doing in their city. Ali, just reading what Ali's saying there. Ali, once we've found out, we'll tell you. Don't worry.
Aye. This is an ongoing programme, Ali. We'll get you through the super chat thing. I'll need to teach David how to use it. Alistair on the feed and I are well aware of it because we use it on different people's channels, like Maximilian Robespierre. Ali and I normally bung a few quid in there, and I've sent super chats to Michael Lambert and voted to the power and the full a different bias. So we're quite familiar with it. If you're not an avid YouTube user like myself and Alison, then it's a new feature. So we'll all go through it all together. We'll learn together.
Mark Telfer says Glenn Campbell needs to get back to country music. I totally agree.
Hey, there, listen, this is a guy I really appreciate. Him and I know what we're talking about, me and this guy. Look, it's John the van driving legend, not a driving god. He says I'm looking good. God yourself.
Yeah, he's saying I'm good. I'm looking good. That's what it is. Yeah. I'm Davy.
Oh dear, this has been some broadcast so far today. Yeah.
No, but what we did do was we did set off a charity initiative, which is actually very good, and I thank everybody that has kindly given to it, because it'll go to a really, really good use. Simple as that. All right.
That will help people struggling. That's for sure. Now, what have you seen in the news this week?
Something about the king. I'm kidding.
How can we get a topical chat show if you're even watching the bloody news, boy?
Listen, Erin Doors bought herself a new exercise bike, right?
So you've been using that instead of watching the news?
No, she wanted it building up, right? There was two guys brought it to the front door, and the guy at the front complained to me. He said, "This should be a 3-man lift." And I said, "I'm terribly sorry about that. You know, it was a wife that bought it, you know." So they got inside the front door, and I read the label on it. Technically, it is supposed to be a 3-man lift. It's 43 kilos. It weighs a bloody ton.
On the subject of the king, I think I know what it was that you heard, and that was the money that he he was going to make from Crown Estates through wind farms, he's donating to the Treasury.
Who's this?
He's donating to the Treasury. So 330 million quid or something like that, or 1 billion or something like that, that's to be made after Crown Estates on wind farms has gone straight to the Treasury.
Yeah. Well, no. No, it wasn't me. I'm just switching off my bloody ringing.
Apparently, we remind Jordy of Waldorf and Stadler for the Muppets.
That was pretty good.
Dear. So, have you seen anything in the news at all this week? Come on.
Look, hang on. Wait. In my house, right? You imagine it's like I'm Mr. Self-Employed. So what happens is I hang around the house an awful lot. Leslie, when she's home, she says, "Get me a cup of tea." So what happens is 10 minutes later, I walk through the door with my Zimmer frame and the cup of tea in the hand. And "Your cup of tea, my lady." Yeah, and hand it over to her, right? So that's how my day goes, right? So you ask me if I've seen something on the telly. No. And you're the one that says he doesn't pay a licence and shouldn't be watching the bloody telly in the first place.
I get my news for YouTube. All the main broadcasters will get YouTube channels, David.
You big fibber. You've been watching TV, I know you have. I've brought around my blooming commer van with the rotating and I spotted you watching the telly, aye.
No, you didn't.
Oh dear.
The Sovereign Wealth Fund got the $3 billion. And taking back to going back to Nadeem Sahawi, his final tax bill was a 4.7 million, I believe.
Was it? Was it as big as that? I thought it was 3.
Yes, and believe it or not, he had to pay a penalty to HMRC of 30% on what he owed.
You see, what you've got to look at this from is not the point of view of the money. If he couldn't afford the money, then he would be up in arms about it and throwing lawyers at it and all the rest of it. But he hasn't, right? He knows he's guilty. The way we should be looking at it from the point of view is why is this man who has put himself in a position of power over each of us being allowed to act like this and get away with it? He should be in prison. He should actually be in prison for this because, well, look, let's put it this way: was it not the jockey, the national jockey?
I got you in the jail.
He went to jail, didn't he? He actually went to jail, right? He was the other guy that sang the song about Willies. What was it? Oh yeah, penis. What was his name again?
I don't bloody know. Oh, Ken Dodd.
Ken Dodd, that was it, right? Penis, right? He got away with it, but at the same time, it's like this guy was in Parliament. He was in power. He actually ran the Treasury for a short while. He should be in jail.
Yes.
You know, dear goodness me.
We made a Sunak getting fined for no seatbelt.
I know. I've got to say, it was a brave policeman that pulled him out.
They didn't. They seen they launched an investigation after complaints made about the video he put out.
Is that what it was? Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because you know, if somebody in government did something wrong, right? Something, you know, my goodness me, beggar the
That is a good point by Stephen. Stephen.
If they don't do something wrong, then we take that to the police and go, can you look at this for us? The police would just look at you strange.
This is a good point for Stefan Bankier, and he says 13% is nothing to a multi-millionaire. He should be doing jail time like Boris Becker did.
Yeah. agree.
Absolutely, and I think they reckon that Salawi's net worth is 100 million quid.
Yeah, right. We did a program on it about 6 weeks ago, and you know yourselves that the man's got a very, very checkered background. He owns he owns quite a large percentage of an oil company. He put those shares into that trust as well. Doesn't mean he doesn't own them. It means that the trust that's owned by his mum and dad owns them, right? And at some point he's going to get them back. Yeah. So I've got to say, anything that's been shoved into that pot, into that trust, that is owned by his own mum and dad, then basically he gets back, and that includes you, Gov.
Aye, and Suzanne makes a cracking paper. There's one law and one set of rules for the common people, another for those that make the rules. All the outrage over the Panama and Pandora papers, but most of those lists have technically broken the only list. They have, every last one of them, Suzanne. Where is Michelle Moon? Because she was exactly where I said she'd be, over the hill and far away. And no coming back is the answer. Okay. Where are we? 40, 46. Aye, so Sunak, I love that meme that's flying about him. Sunak's had more fines than his wife's paid tax. We are now in a period of time where we are dealing with post-truth politics. They don't need truth politics. They never did much yet, but now there's no standards in public life at all. And Sunak is just another extension of Bojo the clown. And Bojo is the one that set the bar low. The fact that Truss and Sunak's being able to limbo under it is bloody amazing. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the driver should be charged too, Reverend James Campbell. You're absolutely right, Reverend of Wrestling, sorry, James Campbell. Because the driver is ultimately responsible for the people in the car, and he didn't make a man wear a seatbelt. The driver should have been wrapped across the knuckles to go with.
Well, I have to stand against that one, because whenever my wife's in the car and I go and park in maybe the Asda car park, she goes, "What do you park here for?"
I know.
But every time I'm in the car myself, it's like I always find that I manage to park in the right place. I'm actually expecting sometimes if I get pulled up with the police, they go, "Mr. Milligan, we pulled you over because of X, Y, Z." I can go, "I'm awful sorry, officer. My wife wasn't in the car with me." "Well, make sure she's in the car with you next time."
Yeah, I was saying on a time at the supermarket, "Did you know I found somewhere nearer the door?" I'm parked right outside the bloody thing in the no parking zone. Can you not find somewhere nearer the door? "I will feed you, darling." How much cash have they got stashed off store? Right, sure. They reckon in worldwide tax avoidance and tax dodgers have got $1 trillion plus stashed offshore and offshore accounts.
No, I've actually heard, the tax havens have got accumulated 6 trillion. 6 trillion.
6. And Jim Bob's asking, have you heard anything from Richard Murphy yet?
And Jim Bob, sorry, no update, mate. I haven't done much, but we're having pneumonia and getting out of that and doing what the wife wants me to do and all this. I haven't done that. All right, so here's a chance. I will progress that. All right.
Aye, no, the fact Stephen Kelly's asked about Panama Papers. He said they should be released again. They're still out there. What the problem we had with the Panama Papers and the Pandora Papers was that the mainstream media ignored them.
Yeah.
Whereas that should have been front page news for months.
Well, it
would take it anywhere longer than a week.
Yeah, it was the Panama Papers that actually had the Queen, the bit about the Queen on it as well, didn't it?
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, they should have been front news news, and then after about a month of front page news, there should have been page 2 and 3 for the amount of information was released, and all that information released. Where was HMRC and all this? All that information was made available to the public through the Panama and Pandora Papers. Where was HMRC?
Oh, I know. But the thing is, though, it's like, had you picked up the phone and phoned the police and said, "Hey, can we have this investigated?" And they went, "What? Go away." You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's effectively the way it was handled. Above a certain level, they can just bat it away. They just go, fuck off,
It takes us back to the early episode made about the one rule for them and a different rule for us.
Yeah, correct. Nobody should be above the law. No one should be above the law. And that includes King Charles should not be above the law. And the Queen shouldn't have been above the law.
This is a good one. This one's about to explode onto the scene again, and that was Eddie Gillis talking about the Russian report cover-up. That one's about to hit. It should hit the press again this week because there's a further inquiry into it, and the info for that's supposed to be released and all.
Yeah, maybe that much a column inch.
Aye, all those gingers are after telling us about what's going on in the US. Here in the US, the Inland Revenue Service came after me when I was 23 for an error amounting to $150. Wow. The Inland Revenue Service in America don't mess about, do they? Because 150 quid HMRC wouldn't even done the computer on.
But, that's the only way that they managed to get Al Capone. At the end of the day was through, like tax evasion, right? So there you go.
Gordon's asking if our HMRC going to say we don't investigate old cases. Probably, Gordon. Aye.
Yeah, Robert, you can maybe help me on that one. He's saying Mr. Milligan is no longer on Twitter. It's going to be a bit hard to get in touch with Richard Murphy. Both David and myself were signed up to Richard Murphy, so I'll get him somehow. Don't worry, I'll get him.
The way that we normally speak to him, we correspond with him through email.
Yeah.
Well, I sadly spoke to Richard for a long time.
Yeah.
But we used to correspond with him through email because I'm signed up to his site and I get all that stuff in my inbox,
Yeah.
But where were we? I'm starting to lose a plot.
Gordon says, are HMRC going to say we don't investigate old cases?
I've just said that one, you're smiling.
No, I'm going to add to it that regarding your tax affairs and all the rest of it, you've got a maximum of 7 years. So if you imagine I've got a business, I have to hang on to any paperwork I've got that's under 7 years of age. I can bin the rest of it, but up to 7 years of age, I've got to hang on to in case they want to investigate me.
Same and all, when you shut a business, didn't you? Hold on to the information for 5 years.
Yeah. In
case they want to audit it.
Yeah.
For tax irregularities and things like that. I mean, I had a loft full of 250 people in there when we used to run the security company. We had to keep them in the loft for 5 years, all their pay details and all that stuff, and all that, what they'd been paid, what tax they'd paid, all that crap. You had to hold on to that for 5 years.
Yep.
Yep.
No, I would definitely say that if I eventually do give up the business, then what I'll do is I'm just going to go and take the stuff and burn it. Something like that. And if HMRC want, I'll just say sorry. I'm not going anymore. You find what you can.
It's interesting, David. That is the right way to do it, because what happens is the maximum fine's £1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see why the rich do it,
Yeah, I'm not interested in playing the games. I'm really not, So.
Jim, you want to see us on with Gordon Ross and Martin James Keaton's? I've not got a problem with that.
No.
Doesn't excite me either, right enough. But I've not got a problem with it. Now, David, come on.
Oh, sorry.
Gordon said he was being sarcastic. Ah, you don't say. This has been quite a wide programme, this one. Okay. Brilliant. Right, 6 minutes to go. Let's see what we got. The King should be investigated over his association with Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile. That's by Stephen McNeil on Facebook. Why did Westminster use Section 35 on Scotland's gender bill? Because they want to pick a fight.
What was the post I saw during the week? And it was somebody that had been in the presence of Jimmy Savile. And one of the games that they were going to run was where they had 2 snooker balls inside a leather pouch, and he had to describe what he was feeling. You couldn't make it up, could you? And they never got that guy. Bloody hell.
Aye, well, so listen, you better get back in the game, boy. We have a programme on Thursday and you haven't got a Scooby what's going on in the news and I'm going to shoot you.
I know something. I am most dreadfully sorry, but my wife's bigger than you, right?
Technically, she's about the same height. I'm not very tall, of course. Well, I want to thank Agnes for this chair. Yeah, Sarah's spent about 20 quid in the electricity using the massager so far.
and you've got a new chair, and guess what? Leslie's got a new chair downstairs in the porch, in the box, ready to get built up. And what mug do you think is going to be building it up for her?
You.
Exactly.
Well, there you go. The joys of marriage. I mean, Sarah's out on about the dishwasher and saying it's not working. But I'm a dishwasher in Motors. Aye, the blame games, aye. Section 35 to put us in our box and avoid a 32 challenge in the courts. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right, Mark.
Yeah.
They didn't fancy their chances in the court and they wanted to put the boot in to show who's boss. So they decided to forgo Section 32, Section 33, or even a 104 order to bring in amendments to the bill to bring it into line with what they think is wrong with it. We'll see where it goes when it hits the courts, because one thing the First Minister did say today in Queensburg was it will be going to judicial review, and that starts in Edinburgh. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Alexis.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
All goes to a great cause. Thank you very much.
Did the EU ever block a bill passed by Westminster? It's a good question.
No.
Is there no chance that they ever blocked anything?
Only if the judges here took it to, or people here took it to the European Court of Justice or the European Court of Human Rights.
Right.
But I don't think they blocked any bills. I think they maybe pulled the UK up a few times for no abiding by agreements that the UK had made.
Yeah.
So the reaction to Section 35 right across Europe has been quite interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very interesting. With condemnation all coming from right across the EU.
Well, it would have been fairer if the UK government, feeling as they do, which is a load of nonsense, had actually gone for court action.
Aye, Section 32, Section 33 in Scotland, that would have enabled that.
But to go for the Section 35, which is a nuclear option, is not on. It's just not.
Aye, to get back in your box, Jock. Thanks very much, Jane, for your contribution. Right, we're getting to the end of this one, folks. I hope we've found it entertaining. I'm not even going to get anywhere near informative this time round.
You're going to see something like this anywhere on a Sunday, I'll tell you.
So, hey, thanks for joining us, folks. Really, do us a favour, hit the like button on YouTube if you're on YouTube, because it really helps the channel. And as I say, thanks for everybody who's taken the initiative to help or joined the initiative to help others today. And it's an ongoing program, folks. So, you know, eventually anybody who wants to use the super chat will work it out. We'll get maybe put up a wee YouTube channel video that shows you how to do it actually, because there is ones out there how to use super chat. So maybe on Thursday we'll put a wee brief a video up to tell you how to do it.
Yep.
All right.
And I'll go up to speed as well.
Aye, and you go up to speed as well and all, because as I say, we hope you found this one entertaining, because it wasn't that informative. Although we have covered quite a bit. We've covered the polling, voting demographics, voter ID. We've covered a crisis in the national health, which isn't really a crisis, but they are under pressure. There is no doubt about that. We've covered the Section 35 order. So we've covered quite a lot. Thanks very much, folks. Anyway, David, that's our up. We want to thank everyone.
Hang on. We've to give a wee shout out to Dylan Keane, because you two are his heroes, please.
Thanks very much, Dylan.
Dylan Keane, yay! Right.
Oh, and the Freedom Chain, folks, still need a lot of people for this 66-mile route. It's 70,000 people. So get onto the Freedom Chain Facebook page and get signed up. All right.
Yeah.
As I say, Judith and Siobhan will be on with us at some point. We'll probably do a special to fit it in, because Judith's really, really busy. Judith's a really busy activist in Highlands, and she's also helping to organise this a Freedom Chain. So she's more or less very busy. But as I say, folks, the Freedom Chain, let's get to the 70,000 people committed to joining that chain. Okay. Now, time for to wrap this one up, David. So, anything you want to say in rounding up?
Just have a nice day, everybody, and bye-bye, Davey.
Bye, David. Bye, folks. Thanks again.